Practical Doug.
Oh, yeah, it's that time again, y'all. And I'm in charge this time. If this is your first time checking this out, hey, welcome to Ask Practical Doug. Inside my brain, there is another Doug, and he is practical, and he dictates a lot of what I do. And this is a great segment for you to ask a question to Ask Practical Doug. If you'd like to do this, all you got to do is head over to our Discord, head to the Ask Practical Doug channel, drop in your question there, or hit us up on all of our social medias at MindGap Podcast. Ask your question, throw in the hashtag AskPracticalDoug, and perhaps Practical Doug may answer. You can also join us live on our live stream, and perhaps your question may be answered there too. We have a slew, and I think this is an appropriate one that we've been hanging on to.
Because I know that I have submitted a number of these. And
yeah, I mean, actually, from the ones that are left, you are 99% of them. But
I wonder why we haven't gotten to them yet.
Great question. Well, I like this one. I think this fits in with what we're talking about. And this is from you. And the question was, Mjolnir arrives in Middle-earth. Who is worthy to wield it? We have, from a selection of our Lord of the Rings characters, we've got Aragorn, Sam, Frodo, Legolas, Gimli, Eowyn, Treebeard, and Eomer. So, interesting, because Mjolnir can only be lifted and utilized by those who are worthy of the power of Thor. And it's not Gimli, so we'll just go ahead and cross him off. That's easy.
Correct.
No, definitely not him. Treebeard.
Legolas too.
Treebeard. Legolas? I don't know. Is he worthy?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't know why exactly. It just doesn't feel right, though. I don't know why it doesn't feel right having an elf wield Mjolnir, but it doesn't.
Well, I think I understand that, right? Because they're so dainty yet dexterous. So for him to be wielding such a smashing weapon, it seems kind of weird.
Right. I feel like there's I don't know, some kind of inherent arrogance in the race.
Wow.
Of
just going to be racist. Okay, let's get to it.
Yeah. Going right to it, yeah. I'm an elfist.
Well, if anything, he defied his father's wishes. His father was like, hey, we only give a shit about our own. And Legolas is like, I don't want to do that anymore. We got to care about the world.
I don't know, does killing for sport rule him out?
I mean, what? Killing orcs for sport?
Oh, they're living beings. Do they not count?
No, they're evil.
I think they just had bad fathers.
It's true.
Bad home lives.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I say Legolas could potentially be in the running. Potentially. Okay. Treebeard out. Treebeard.
No, that's just goofy.
Yeah, he's just weird. He's not wielding it. He doesn't give a shit. He's not worthy. I think Sam, totally.
If strength is irrespective, if once you're deemed worthy, your strength, it doesn't matter. Mjolnir's cool, I'm down with you. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Then yeah, Sam's an obvious choice.
I think, I don't know, I'm hesitant on Aragorn. It seems like an obvious one, but he didn't believe in himself. He didn't believe in it. He was it was almost like Captain America for the longest time, where he was almost hiding the truth, which was, he knew about Bucky killing, Stark's dad, and he hid it, and he just would, he's holding on to that for so long. And I feel like Aragorn's kind of the same way, where he was denying his future because he didn't believe in himself. He didn't believe, he thought he was still susceptible to the weakness of his forefathers.
Right. So it's those very characteristics that mean by the time the end of the third movie, yeah, of course he's wielding it. By
the end of the third movie, I guess, but I guess what time frame are we talking about,
Well, that's the same time that Cap, if we're looking at...
Yeah. I would say the majority of the time we know Aragorn, though, he's not worthy of it. And I think that counts for something.
At what point, then, does Sam become worthy? Is Sam worthy right off the bat, or...
Sam is loyal and is from the... Yeah. I mean, he's willing to drown to go with Frodo to Mordor. The guy just cares so much for Frodo and is willing to help him on his journey. I think, through and through.
The word go, he wields it from day one.
day one, he's told, like, Gandalf's like, don't you lose him, Samwise Gamgee, don't you do it,
I feel like he has some growth. Over the
he does, but I think
that makes him worthy. I guess for me, I don't think that he's immediately there.
I think he's pretty close. I think he's closer than Aragorn. That's for sure. I mean, he, if anything, I mean, he is able to wear the ring for a little bit. I mean, he picks it up after Frodo gets she-lobed, and
that thing, like, that's like anybody can get up inside that ring, right? That's like cool, like,
yeah, but he was also
put me on.
He was able to do it and not get corrupted immediately.
Not immediately.
So, which unlike most of those shit fuckers in that world, they immediately get corrupted.
Right.
So I thought you say he's a strong candidate. Frodo, I don't know. Like, Frodo is weird to me because I give him credit because he is a hero and brave in the sense that he volunteers to be the ring bearer of this terrible burden, and he goes for it. But I don't know. He just doesn't. There's something lacking in him.
He bears it for so long.
Yeah.
The most corrupting force.
Yeah.
In that universe, he bears that for so long, and at the end, still gets to say he wasn't totally correct. Like, he still gets to come back from the.
That is pretty impressive, right? I mean, that is quite the burden. Yeah, it's hard to argue against that. His right? Constitution and wisdom is strong. He rolled high on those.
But he kind of proves himself by the end of that. Like, I think he gets the bad rap because you get to see all the worst traits come out in him as a result of that. But it's like only because he's there bearing that burden.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just say Éomer. No. I mean, he's played by Carl Urban. Yeah. I think he's great, but he is also he makes fun of halflings. He's very agitated. Not to say that Thor isn't, but he doesn't seem worthy enough to wield that power.
As far as that universe goes, I feel like there's one human that gets the nod, and it's Aragorn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think there's room for another human to be worthy of Mjolnir.
Éowyn's close, but she's so obsessed with fighting, improving herself, which I understand, right? She's basically like, this is your place, stay in it, don't leave it. She's like, but I can fight. Like, yeah, but you're a lady. You don't got the bits between the legs, therefore you got to stay behind. And I mean,
swords don't work without them.
Right, and I mean, she's able to defeat the Witch King of Angmar, because no mortal man can harm him, and I am no man. So she definitely has courage and battle prowess, but I feel like her ultimate desire to prove herself does not make her worthy of Mjolnir, in my mind.
Yeah, I just, her character isn't developed enough for us, I think, to know ultimately if she would be worthy enough.
Yeah,
but maybe she's a Jane Foster.
Yeah, could be. I mean, yeah.
We played out a couple extra years. Yeah, maybe. But
all right, so I'm got.
Curious, why isn't Gandalf on that list? Like, would Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White?
That's a great question. My gut's telling me no, and I don't know why. Because, I mean, he is out to protect Middle Earth, right? He's a guide. He's a confidant. He's there to help. Noah goes, Gandalf is dead. I mean, he wields he actually does have a ring of power.
Right.
I mean, which is, saying something.
He knows better than to dick around with the One Ring.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because he knows that there's that part of him that isn't able to handle it, that he's also not.
Right, because he's like, don't give me the ring. He's like, I would want to do good, but, it would not go well.
I would monkey's paw that shit.
Well, it's not part of this equation, so I'm not going to consider it. So,
fine.
So we're down to Aragorn, Sam, Frodo, and Legolas. If we have to pick one.
You have to pick one?
I'm going to let Legolas go. I think all four of these would be worthy. But who is the most worthy of these four?
I think the fan favorite has to be Sam.
It's got to be Sam, right? Like it's got like Aragorn again. By the end of his journey, he could wield it for sure, right? Because I mean, hell, he wields that new sword at the end of it. He was, so reluctant all the whole time. He's like, no.
He gets a whole, he's got an entire army of the dead that he gets the command for.
Exactly. I feel like because I'm doing it kind of like time frame, like how much of the time that we see them would they be worthy to do it? So I don't think it's gonna be Aragorn.
Throw down to the halflings.
Yeah, because I like Legolas could, but again, there's something about it where I'm like, I don't know. He almost seems too perfect all the time.
And that's the elves' whole vibe, right?
Yeah,
it's like that little bit of like arrogance in their perfection.
Yeah. Now, someone made a point in the chat too that Thor's pretty arrogant as well. So Tint, I believe, said that.
This is extremely true.
Yeah. So.
If we're using Thor as the benchmark, then I think that opens up to a few extra people almost.
Yeah.
Which you kind of have to, but
yeah.
Maybe we've set the bar too high. But if it is just one, if one is the most worthy, then I go Sam.
I think it's got to be Sam. I think he's just the guy who I think so much. I think Frodo.
Rudy.
That's right. I think Frodo is probably the most impressive of all of these, but I don't know. Again, I can't put this in the words. It's like, what is a sport? Like, I can't define it. It just, it feels like.
What is a Mjolnir wielder?
Yeah, I feel like it would come to Sam, and Sam would just like pick it up, and he would. It's also like
he would go and mash some taters. Is what he would do with that motherfucker.
He'd mash those potatoes, Yeah, it's got to be Sam. I'm gonna say it. It's Sam. Sam is the wielder of Mjolnir in Middle Earth. It is done. It is decided.